Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Hi. Thank you for joining us here this afternoon. I know that you've had a really full day of learning and conversations, and I hope it's been a useful and impactful day for you. But we have a little more in store for you, so hang on with us, including a wonderful award ceremony in a few minutes and reception. So again, thank you for being here. At GTS Educational Events, we take our mission seriously of serving the public sector with events, programs, and services that inspire innovation for the greater good. And it is our pleasure to serve you with this symposium again this year. And it's our hope that this event becomes a catalyst to help you strengthen and transform our communities. As citizens, we are grateful that you have taken the time out of your busy schedules to attend the symposium so that you can continue to learn and grow in your work that matters and impacts all of us. We are also grateful that we have leaders like our next speaker who provide the strategic guidance needed to navigate the rapidly changing landscape of government IT services. So to share his observations and his visions of government IT, it is my pleasure to introduce you to Minnesota's new State Commissioner of IT Services and Chief Information Officer, Tarek Tomes. Commissioner Tomes is a recognized industry leader bringing over 25 years experience managing technology innovation across diverse industries, both in national, international, and public and private sector operations. Throughout his career, he has facilitated data-driven decision-making, implemented many critical enterprise projects, and improved workforce diversity and inclusion. Prior to his current post, Commissioner Tomes served as the Chief Innovation Officer and Chief Information Officer here in the city of St. Paul, where he made a lasting impact on improving services to citizens, including facilitating digital transformation at the city level and pioneering the use of mobile applications to improve resident opportunities. This work allowed the city to leverage deep data insights while promoting and supporting equitable service delivery. He also oversaw the launch of St. Paul's Open Information Portal, which continues to promote and encourage innovative users of data and transparency in government services. Commissioner Tomes is also no stranger to state government. He spent 6 years as an assistant commissioner at Minnesota IT Services, where he created several nation-leading information technology sourcing agreements for 33,000 plus user utility services statewide, including the first cloud-based public sector statewide service offering in the nation. During his tenure as assistant commissioner, Minnesota became the first state in the country to manage all information technology through service-level agreements, a model that was recognized with a national award. Commissioner Tomes received his bachelor's degree from the University of Maryland and attended graduate school for business management at Boston University. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure, and please welcome Commissioner Tarek Tomes.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's incredibly humbling for me to stand here in front of you. Thank you to GTS and the amazing work that they do in creating this opportunity. Thank you to the many vendor partners for helping us make the lives of the Minnesotans that we serve better in the use of the technology and helping us related to the solutions. If I'm lucky enough to get invited back next year, I'm going to do this in a TED Talk way. It's just a little bit of a personal aspiration of mine, so I'm going to start it off with a really quiet and somber, have you ever wondered? And then we'll kind of go from that. So that's going to be my aspiration for next year. Before we start, and I don't know why, this is kind of a little bit of a weird moment for me. Is it possible that not the last song, but the song before that, could we cue that up again? And can I just ask everyone to stand up for 1 second? Is that possible? Does that work? Wherever the DJ is, can you hit whatever you had playing there? And if I can just ask you guys to all stand up here as a technologist just for 1 second. Now, if the music doesn't cue, we're going to all sit back down really fast here. So we'll just give it a a brief second. And is the person that's cueing the music available? All right, since the persons, we're going to improvise. There we go. How about we just clap? All right, that's good enough. Thank you so much, and thank you for indulging me in that moment. Just when I was listening to it, I could not be more excited about the work that I do and the job that I have. I absolutely love my job. I love the people that I work for. I love the people that I work with. I love the things that I learn from so many of you in this room. I love the collaboration with our cities and with our counties and with educational institutions and the interactions with our tribal nations. I love the interactions with our vendor community. I love the interactions with the private sector. And for all of the public sector technologists here in the room, thank you so much for the work that you do. And for me, every day, I'm reminded humbly that the impact we have on people is very real, that the impact that technology services provide impacts people's lives, impacts a lot of people's lives in different ways. And just a sincere thank you to each of you for both the partnership and the work that you do. And I hope you love your jobs as much as I do. I'm fortunate to work for an amazing governor, an amazing lieutenant governor. The chief of staff is fantastic. So I really do consider myself very lucky. So now I can begin my speech. So hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me right here, right now, at the 38th Annual Government IT Symposium. What a beautiful room of problem solvers, collaborators, innovators, artists, engineers, critical thinkers, leaders, and simply put, technologists. We are not simply technologists, but technologists with a common purpose and mission to pinpoint solutions for Minnesotans across the entire state. Thank you for coming here to learn new approaches for finding IT solutions to improve service needs and to raise the bar for technology throughout our snowy, extremely cold, but very bold North State. At this point in Symposium Week, you've just gone through about 2 full days of breakout sessions, so you'll be ready to celebrate when we give out the Golden Government IT Awards right after this. And maybe we'll get up and move our feet again a little bit. For those of you I haven't met or had the pleasure of meeting, as Mary said, my name is Tarek Tomes, and on April 16th, Governor Walz and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan announced my appointment to serve as Minute's Commissioner and the State Chief Information Officer. It's work that got kicked off with a press conference. First time I've ever taken a job that started with a press conference. Key decision-making to do around the state's high-profile vehicle registration technology system, MNLARS. Legislative testimony during a budget year, and all of that was within the first 8 days. And at that point in time, I couldn't help but think, I wonder what the next 8 days are going to be like. I could not have been more excited, and truth be told, I am more excited today than I was when I started. I love what we do as technologists in the public sector. The potential impact of the work we do on the lives of Minnesotans is incredibly motivating. Ultimately, we are all here to find ways that technology can help people and to share that with each other. I can't wait to see what each of you take back from this event to your teams, colleagues, managers, supervisors, and to the state of Minnesota as a whole. Let's talk a little bit about the current state of IT, challenges and opportunities. So what's the state of our state IT, and what does the future hold for IT throughout Minnesota? I don't need to remind everyone here about this fun fact, but technologists working in the public sector currently face some truly unique challenges. Challenges that require an empathetic approach to move from being a challenge into becoming a true opportunity. I'll speak to one of our biggest challenges first, the cybersecurity threat to the IT infrastructure, data, and systems the people we all serve rely on. Since July, The Security Operations Center, SOC, at Minute, has received reports of almost 6,000 phishing emails targeting state users averaging over 36 messages per day. Tools we've put in place have blocked 28,000 malicious messages, over 300 per day. The SOC itself has blocked 978 phishing websites since July, over 6 per day. The state has seen a steady increase in attacks targeting state employees, and I'm positive that this is no different at the federal, county, city level, or other municipal areas. Those attacks used to be easy to spot: bad grammar, bad spelling, inconsistent message appearances, blatant attempts by people you've never heard of trying to get you to wire incredible sums of money to distant countries, but now they are fine-tuned with good graphics and details designed to target and trick employees. In short, they're a business, they're an industry. Ransomware is a trend affecting cities, counties, schools, and government entities across the United States, and those attacks have the ability to shut down services and cause genuine harm to the people we serve. Although the state's cybersecurity program has matured a great deal, no state is immune from these kinds of attacks. I'd like to share with you a little story about, or not a little story, a story about an attack that we had a couple of months ago that really was representative in a lot of different ways of both the challenges that we have as well as the opportunities. We had a pretty severe cybersecurity incident at two of our correctional facilities within the Department of Corrections, and that cybersecurity incident was targeted specifically at two correctional facilities. And when the first call results in a question, are the security systems that control access, to the facility, the cells, the doors, the gates, are they compromised? And are the video surveillance cameras that help us protect people compromised? As you can imagine, that's a pretty harrowing call. And in both of those instances, neither one of those were impacted or compromised based on the architecture and design that's put in place. People, processes, and technology really helped avert the most significant of the threat. There was no ransomware event, although there were multiple attempts at a ransomware event. And ultimately, the facilities were impacted as we recovered from that event. During the recovery of that event, of course, as you can imagine, a correctional facility goes into an alternate mode of operating. They leverage their continuity of business plans, and correctional facilities are very sophisticated or have high maturity related to those continuity of business plans. Of course, the residents of those facilities, the prisoners of those facilities are impacted. Their privileges, their ability to use the canteen to purchase goods, their ability to receive visitors are all impacted. And for us as technologists, whether we're serving someone at a state park or a local park, or whether we're providing technology services to a place like a correctional facility, having an empathetic approach to the people that are impacted is incredibly important. Our technologists banded together. We banded together both from technologists that are specifically assigned to those locations as well as technologists across Minute to really recover in the fastest way possible, recognizing that people were impacted. And in this case, it was the residents of those facilities and the people looking to visit those facilities. But it really gave us a pause to really have a perspective of the threat that we're facing and the sophistication of that threat. And many of you see those types of threats on a daily basis, and certainly the capacity that's needed to look beyond the walls of a Department of Corrections network into other spaces requires a significant amount of partnership and collaboration to deal with that. One of the big priorities you'll often hear leaders in government technology discuss is IT modernization. And to be honest, that's no different here in Minnesota. At the state, more than 1,600 applications are reaching the end of life. That's a remarkable challenge. More than simply concerning ourselves with aging software and hardware, however, as technologists, we also have a role in working with our business partners to re-envision and reimagine how they help Minnesotans interface with the services they provide. The opportunity here to unlock our creativity and engage with stakeholders in new and exciting ways. I've seen firsthand how powerful this can be during my tenure as the Chief Information Officer and the Chief Innovation Officer for the City of St. Paul. Leveraging a human-centered design approach to our work is incredibly important. And that human-centered design approach really has at its core that we always place people at the center of the solutions that we create. In St. Paul, we worked on an initiative related to finding opportunities for housing for folks reentering St. Paul from incarceration, so housing barriers for our reentry workforce. And we took a human-centered design approach to it. We leveraged a relatively small team and conducted interviews with probably 80 to 90 either currently or formerly incarcerated folks. We interviewed landlords, big and small. We interviewed nonprofit organizations, and we then placed the results of those interviews into themes. And then we ideated around those themes, and that resulted in literally 70 to 80 possible solutions how we can reduce the barriers for our reentry workforce coming home. Without taking a human-centered design approach, we would put smart people in a room, and those smart people would come up, with very viable solutions, but they would probably come up with 5 to 10 solutions. By taking a human-centered design approach and interviewing the people that we are potentially impacting, we learned so much. We learned about the need to mitigate the risk within landlords and how risk mitigation is a big enabler for making people feel more comfortable to rent to folks that are formerly incarceration. From the data, we learned that of the 14 major crime areas, 11 have absolutely no barrier or no impact on being a successful tenant. We learned that maybe innovative applications like a Tinder application that connects a landlord with someone looking for housing is a large opportunity. A human-centered approach to that work is fundamental, and it is core to what we do as technologists. We saw incredible results for residents and their technology-enhanced experiences with city government because we kept human-centered design in mind. And there is tremendous opportunity for technology and innovation for state government systems in Minnesota. Our work at the state level will start the same way that it started in the city of St. Paul, with curiosity, engagement, and by always keeping people in the center of our decisions around IT. The state has 350 active projects at any given time, and human-centered design must be an ever-present lens through which we view our work. Taking advantage of these opportunities means we can provide the strongest, most intuitive IT support for our partners across state government. And it's really important to also recognize the impact related to what the implementation of these 350 projects has on cities and counties and tribal nations, and include the perspective of each one of those entities as well as we look at the solutions that we're creating. As the Commissioner of Minnesota IT Services and the state CIO, I can also tell you that right now we are in the process of building, planning, delivering, and reevaluating Minnesota's IT engagement strategies in the weeks and months ahead. We're deliberately paving the path forward for emerging technologies, better service delivery, and stronger communications with our partners with the creation of a formal strategic and tactical plan. A plan that's influenced and shaped by Governor Walz's vision for One Minnesota. This fuels our work at a state and fuels our work as technologists. Governor Walz's One Minnesota plan has 5 fundamental goals, and the work that we do both from a strategic planning perspective as well as from a tactical planning perspective. We view our work as strongly as we can through the lens of those 5 goals. Those 5 goals are children and families, the environment, fiscal responsibility and a data-driven approach, equity, inclusion, and thriving communities. The mission of Governor Walz's plan for One Minnesota is to improve the lives of all Minnesotans by working collaboratively to implement policies that achieve results. And to help us achieve that mission, the governor has outlined several guiding principles, 2 of which I'd like to highlight in particular. Promote the common good over narrow special interest, and ask how your actions are reinforcing or removing structural inequity. There's a natural tension and challenge in keeping both of these guiding principles in mind, but there's also a clear path in here for state technology to make a huge difference. Promote the common good over narrow self-interest. We can get put in tough spots. Decisions around moving forward with projects can have an incredible impact in the public sector. We must always keep this principle in mind when we work with our partners and collaborate to invest our time, energy, and resources for the common good. Ask how your actions are reinforcing structural inequity, removing structural inequity, technology and data and tools that enable people to help each other. So a challenge potentially, managing the over 2,800 applications that the state captures transactions in and fuels service delivery to support Minnesota's government services. The collective data and information from these applications connects people to jobs, healthcare, Minnesota's great outdoors, environmental data, and educational resources. It allows individuals to sign up for health insurance seamlessly, help researchers produce reports that keep Minnesotans safe, and connects veterans to education benefits, and that's just the beginning. We need to strategically use that data to improve our services and to improve outcomes for all Minnesotans. So the opportunity, while we work through technology solutions, we work with partners in our different service areas to ask ourselves along the way how our actions are reinforcing or removing structural inequity. We can take advantage of the technological tools we have to fight these inequities before they become further ingrained in the way we provide our services. Attracting a strong, diverse, capable, and innovative new workforce. In the coming years, public sector IT in Minnesota will face challenges retaining talent and competing for talent with the private sector. There are more jobs for skilled workers in the tech sector in our state than there are people to fill them. We have a unique opportunity within this challenge too, however. The work we do is incredibly rewarding. In 2019, Minnesota was ranked the third best state in the nation. Underpinning Minnesota's high ranking and excellent state service is a dedicated statewide network of technology professionals. We can recruit not simply technologists, but technologists who are driven, eager to be part of the mission of the state of Minnesota, and hoping to use their talents to contribute to a greater good, to serve their neighbors, friends, and families in the place they love. I truly believe one of our biggest competitive differentiators is the meaningful work we do as technologists. We get an opportunity very frequently to work with the latest technologies, to have the assistance and help from vendors that are really eager to lend their expertise and their vast knowledge to solve real problems that our society faces. And I think that meaningful work and the opportunity that it represents, as well as the types of technology solutions that we have in place, is an incredible differentiator for us and is really our recruitment, calling card. It's our ability to say, here's a special place to work and the rewards that you receive from this work. And it's amazingly interesting. At the state of Minnesota, the Department of Transportation has one of the most sophisticated IoT environments in the state. At the Department of Health, we're on the leading edge of working in cloud-based services and really leveraging the most innovative approaches to cloud computing and beyond. At the Department of Natural Resources, we have such sophisticated data collection regarding water levels and stream levels, and that replicates itself over and over and over again. And I know that exists within counties and cities as well, and I think that meaningful work is incredibly important. Meeting each of those challenges and turning them into opportunities is a tremendous amount of work, and it takes a tremendous amount of thoughtful connection and sincere empathy to be successful. The good news, we're incredibly well positioned and well on our way to getting there. For the state of Minnesota as a whole, we'll succeed when we realize the full potential of our connected culture. Minute staff in the room have heard me talk about this on several occasions before, but the importance of recognizing the foundational building block of all we do cannot be overstated. This is our first step towards a future state, a collaborative, innovative, and successful state, one that makes Minnesotans proud of their government. So what exactly is connected culture? How are we training our focus on finding those points of connection with our business partners in local government, with our own state staff, and teams across Minnesota, and with new stakeholders that we can even imagine yet? Connected culture is the relationships that we establish with each other. It's the relationships with our employees. It's the relationship that we have with the business units and the business partners that we support. It's the relationships we have with our customers, who are the residents, visitors, citizens, businesses in Minnesota. It's the relationships we have with our vendors. One of the early things that I did when I started is I took a trip to St. Louis County, and really my ask of St. Louis County was to help me understand how technology works from a county perspective. And I met with a wonderful group of human services county technologists, and I met with deputy registrars there, and I met with county technologists. And it was a really unbelievably collaborative conversation with lots of opportunity related to can we move or improve these different areas of service. And then I drove further up north to Ely, Minnesota, and met with a deputy registrar, one person shop, pretty much 1.5 person shop, and she also does dog licenses in Ely, Minnesota. And I just spent a little bit of time behind the counter with her to see this MNLARS thing personally. And I firmly believe that we really can't understand and appreciate the impact that technology has unless we get out, unless we see it personally, unless we get behind a counter, unless we walk in the shoes of the people that we serve, unless we look to renew our driver's license or whatever the activity with state government that we do. And on that trip, that's when this concept of a connected culture came. And as we've talked about connected culture within our organization significantly, it's been unbelievably humbling to see people start to define it in their own words. And I really welcome those personal definitions, because I think the technology and for the vendor partners in the room, your technology is amazing, but it's not really a technology thing. It's a culture thing. The technology always works best when the culture of an organization, and not necessarily just from a technology perspective, but in entirety, really embraces a new way of working. It embraces taking bold chances to innovate in spaces that carry risk with it. They embrace a culture of making sure that we use human-centered design and that we're connecting with the people. Then the innovative technology that our vendor partners bring to us really solves significant problems. And so this notion of a connected culture is really important for me and for us as an organization. Being part of a connected culture means finding new opportunities. It fosters collaboration across levels of government, teams, projects, and initiatives in new ways. We have the ability to ask ourselves, how can we create communities of interest that allow us to collaborate on how to solve problems or build on things that are working? And when we say or refer to creating communities of interest to collaborate, that's not just within state government. I think it's finding communities of interest. We're really fortunate at Minnesota IT Services to have an incredibly engaged Blue Ribbon Council that consists of various levels of government, county government, city government. It includes legislators, it includes private sector CIOs that really engages in a collaborative way. And I think we can find other opportunities to collaborate in a much more meaningful way that will ultimately yield unbelievable solutions for the people that we collectively all serve. And oftentimes, obviously, we're serving the same person. It is, in a sense, a radical inclusion, working together with our tribal nations, cities, counties, schools as technologists, not only makes the technology we build together stronger, more reliable, and more useful to the people of Minnesota, it makes all of us better, and it's a critical factor in our success. Service delivery in the public sector frequently is a combination of different governmental entities. In a connected culture, we can easily find collaborative opportunities to more effectively share data, provide support, improve the resident and citizen experience, and most importantly, improve the outcomes. A digital services center of excellence focused on cross-governmental innovation opportunities holds tremendous promise. Areas such as our application strategy, artificial intelligence and machine learning, innovation centers, digital workspaces, data and performance management. Being part of a connected culture also means we'll be positioned to fully embrace new innovation and technology. We'll be able to build on our connected culture to set up an innovative culture, making Minnesota more than a state with simply stable technological infrastructure, but emerging as a technology leader. We'll get comfortable in our discomfort, and we'll help our business partners do the same. We'll encourage ideation and actively pursue innovative best practices, improve them, and redistribute them as broadly as possible. And when we can't find best practices to adopt them, we will create them. And once we have an innovative culture, we can even begin to move beyond digital transformation. Building a connected culture doesn't happen with one person or one leader. It happens when we seek out and deepen innovative partnerships that support shared values. It includes deliberate relationship building, which I encourage you to do not just here at the Government IT Symposium, but back at your offices, across offices, departments, agencies, and services. As government technologists, we sit at the intersection of opportunity and change, and the power we have in that role is immense. We are at the center of transformation and improvement in services that change people's lives. We are frequently engaged to be catalysts of change. Something I think we should all recognize while we're here together is that there is no more exciting time in technology than the present. Technology is transforming people's lives and playing a large part in solving complex challenges. We are all a part of that, and we all have a responsibility to make sure that the solutions we bring forth as technologists keep people in the center of our work. We have a unique opportunity to build and share a story of fact. In our current political climate, that isn't always easy. When we build deep insights into the transactional data that our solutions create, we have an opportunity to create an unbiased, real-time view into the impact on people. And when we can work together, communicate clearly with each other, think outside the box, find the value of diverse voices and skill sets, and always see the bigger picture as we embrace our connection to our work, stakeholders, and colleagues, our IT future as a state will be the brightest that it can be. Thank you very much.